Hey, my friend, if you thought the Dallas Cowboys were done making moves after the draft, think again, because right now we're watching a roster shakeup unfold in real time, and it's sending a clear message. The competition is officially on. The Cowboys just made a series of official roster changes that reveal exactly what they're thinking. 4 players have been released, gone before even getting a shot to compete in training camp. Wide receivers Tyron Billy Johnson and Racey McMath, offensive lineman Brock Hoffman, and long snapper Trent Sieg are all out. That's not a minor move. These guys were at least expected to be in the mix during the offseason. So why let them go now? Simple. It's about creating opportunity and clearing space for the next wave of talent. Dallas needed room to sign the majority of their 2025 rookie class, and they wasted no time doing it. Out with the familiar faces, in with the fresh ones. Let's be real. When a team moves on from veterans this early, in the offseason, it means the coaching staff already has a strong idea of what they want. It also shows they believe in the rookies they just brought in. And maybe even more importantly, it signals that Brian Schottenheimer and the front office are serious about building something faster, younger, and more competitive from day one. Of course, there's a human side to this too. Brock Hoffman played in 14 games for Dallas last year. Trent Sieg was your starting long snapper. These aren't just guys, buried on the depth chart. So their release doesn't just create space, it opens the door for true competition this summer. Now I want your take on this. Which of the 4 cuts surprised you the most? Let me know down in the comments. Fan vote. Do you agree with the Cowboys' early roster moves? Yes, no. And if you're enjoying this kind of breakdown, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. You're not going to want to miss what's coming next. Because up next, we're diving into why the Cowboys didn't waste any time. They signed most of their draft class right away. That kind of urgency says a lot. All right, so here's where things get really interesting. While other teams around the league are still figuring out contract terms with their draft picks, the Cowboys moved fast. And I mean fast. 8 of their draft picks have already signed their rookie deals. That kind of speed doesn't just happen by accident. Think about this. We're only days removed from the draft, and guys like Marshawn Kneeland, Cooper Beebe, and Ryan Flournoy are already under contract. That tells you a few things. First, the front office is laser-focused on getting these rookies fully integrated with 0 distractions. No holdouts, no delays, just football. Second, it's a sign that the Cowboys are confident in their selections. When a team gets deals done quickly, it usually means they knew who they wanted, and they got them. There was no hesitation, no second-guessing. That kind of clarity starts at the top, and it filters down through the entire organization. But here's the deeper layer. Signing your rookies early doesn't just make things cleaner on paper. It sets the tone for how you expect those players to work. It says, "We believe in you, now get to work." That's especially important for a team that desperately needs younger guys to step up and contribute immediately. And if you're thinking this is just about the rookies, think again. Veterans on the roster are watching this too. They know a quick signing means these rookies are about to start taking reps, real ones, and that jobs are on the line. It raises the intensity for everyone in that locker room. So let me ask you this. Which rookie are you most excited to see suit up in a Cowboys uniform this season? Drop their name in the comments and let's see who the fan favorite is. Quick poll. Do you think early signings will help rookies make a faster impact? Absolutely not really next. We need to talk about the man at the center of all this energy, Brian Schottenheimer. Because his fingerprints are all over this approach, and it's changing the tone in Dallas in a big way. Let's be real. Brian Schottenheimer might be the most underrated figure in this entire Cowboys offseason. While fans were locked in on the draft and wondering about big-name trades, Schotty was behind the scenes, setting a new tone for the offense and helping build the foundation for what's to come. This isn't the same Schottenheimer from last year who was sharing play-calling duties and tiptoeing around Mike McCarthy's system. This year, he's locked in, he's taken command. And you can feel it in the way the Cowboys are operating, with urgency, clarity, and a sense of direction that was missing before. You might be asking, what's changed? Well, it starts with preparation. Brian Schottenheimer was heavily involved in scouting this draft class, not just watching tape, but working side by side with the front office to identify players who fit his vision for the offense. That's rare. And it tells you the Cowboys trust his judgment a lot. Look at who they brought in. Cooper Beebe, an aggressive, versatile lineman built to handle the physical style Schotty wants. Ryan Flournoy, a high-motor receiver with big play potential. Even fullback Hunter Lupke, still on the roster, feels like a guy Schottenheimer is quietly keeping in the plans. But more than the names, it's the way Schottenheimer is, getting guys ready. The early signings, the organized structure of rookie camp, that's his influence. He's turning this offense into a disciplined, quick-starting unit, not a wait-and-see experiment. And for Dak Prescott, this is huge. He needs stability. He needs a coordinator who's not just calling plays, but building a system around what works, and doing it with consistency. That's what Schottenheimer is finally able to do. So here's what I want to know. Do you trust Brian Schottenheimer to elevate this offense in 2025? Let me know your take in the comments, and be honest. Poll time. Who will benefit the most from Schottenheimer's influence? Dak Prescott, Cooper, Beebe, ceedee, Lamb. The entire offense. Next up, let's talk about the other side of the ball. Because while Schotty's locking in the offense, the Cowboys are also reloading on defense with some serious depth moves. Now let's flip to the defense. And I've got to say, the Cowboys might not have landed a superstar in the later rounds, but they've quietly made some really smart moves that could pay off big when the season kicks off. We all know this defense has some core talent. Micah Parsons, Trevon Diggs, DeMarcus Lawrence, but what wins games in December and January is depth. And that's exactly where the Cowboys focus during and after the draft. Let's talk about some of these under-the-radar additions. First, the undrafted free agents. Dallas brought in several guys with real upside, including linebacker J.D. Bertrand from Notre Dame, a tackling machine who plays with serious intensity. He may not have the flashy traits, but his instincts are top tier, and he's the kind of player who can contribute on special teams from day one. Then there's cornerback Cam Hart, also from Notre Dame. He's long, physical, and played against top competition in college. With Jordan Lewis on a one-year deal and Stephon Gilmore gone, don't be surprised if Hart pushes for a backup spot, or even a rotational role by mid-season. And how about defensive tackle Elijah Chapman from SMU? He's a stout run defender, and with the Cowboys still needing beef in the middle, this guy could carve out a role fast, especially if Maisie Smith doesn't bounce back in year 2. The theme here is clear. The Cowboys aren't chasing headlines on defense right now. They're building a reliable second unit, a group that can rotate in, step up, and keep the pressure on for 4 quarters. And remember, with Mike Zimmer running the show, these depth pieces are going to matter more than ever. Zimmer loves rotating fresh bodies, keeping his front 7 aggressive, and creating mismatches with hybrid looks. These new additions fit right into that mold. So tell me, which undrafted or late-round defender are you most excited about? Drop your answer in the comments, or shout out someone I didn't mention. Poll time. Which defensive depth move will have the biggest impact? J.D. Bertrand, Cam Hart, Elijah Chapman, someone else? Up next, we're diving into the big picture. What does all of this say about the Cowboys' plan for 2025? So here we are. Draft weekend is in the books, the depth chart is reshuffling, and the dust is starting to settle. The question now is simple. What does all of this tell us about the Cowboys' vision for 2025? First off, the message from the front office is clear. They're not blowing things up. This isn't a rebuild, it's a recalibration. The Cowboys still believe they have a championship-caliber core, and they're trying to retool around it rather than start from scratch. Look at the strategy. They didn't chase big-money veterans or swing wildly in the draft. They stayed disciplined. They targeted smart, physical players, guys who can fill specific roles, players like Cooper Beebe, who bring versatility and toughness, Siobhan Revel and Kalen Carson, who can compete from day one, and a group of defenders and specialists who add grit to the bottom half of the roster. This draft class wasn't about fireworks. It was about foundation. It was about preparing for the long haul while still believing 2025 can be a serious run, especially in a wide-open NFC. But here's the key. For this plan to work, the Cowboys need their coaching staff to maximize these young players. That's where Brian Schottenheimer and Mike Zimmer come in. Schottenheimer needs to unlock a consistent offense, and Zimmer has to elevate a defense that faded late last year. The pieces are there. Now it's about development and execution. And let's be honest, the pressure is on. This front office knows they can't afford another early playoff exit. This draft class, as low-key as it might seem, is going to be part of the story, one way or another. So I'll leave you with this question. Do you believe this team has done enough this offseason to take the next step? Let me know in the comments. I want your honest take. Quick vote. Do the Cowboys look better, worse, or the same after the 2025 NFL Draft? Better, worse, about the same. And that wraps it up for now. But you know how we do around here. If anything breaks, I'll be back with updates. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already.